good. One, you might have been too old for his ass. Okay. Now remember, Sammie Cookie and Aretha Franklin was in that hotel room. Okay, with the staple singers. Okay, on the outside giggling. Well, hello there, love bugs. Hello there, bellas. If you have not already done so, please remember to like, share to Facebook, and subscribe, because it is so important to our success here on the YouTube. And if you are not already a part of our book club, please remember to hit the Patreon link below and or the join button here on the YouTube, and for a small monthly fee of $5, you babies, yes you can be privy to all the shenanigans before the YouTube gets it, if the YouTube gets it. Now, let's talk about David Ritz and Etta James, Raised to Survive. I think this is part 9 or 10. I started hanging out with Sam and the Soul Stirrers when we were all living at the Cecil Hotel in New York. All the gospel stars stayed at the Cecil. Shirley Caesar, the Caravans, the Blind Boys, the Pilgrim Travelers. Johnny Taylor was around, and so was Lou Rawls. Cats who idolized Sam and Sam's slick ways of singing. I found the young Sam Cooke a lot cooler than, say, the young Marvin Gaye. Sam was totally confident, whereas Marvin was insecure and egotistical. That sounds about right. In a field, be it gospel or R&B, filled with so many screamers, honkers, and shouters, Sam was the epitome of mellow. He tried to school me with some of his mellow, but I was too high-headed. During one of Irving Field's top 10 down in Florida, a grinding circuit where we worked 60 to 70 dates, Sam and I really tightened up. I remember Sam watching me with those gentle eyes of his as I assaulted Margot and Herbie, the Jewish guys who ran the show. Okay, remember Margot? Remember the dudes who had told her right? Okay, listen, there's no more money. We gave you all our money up front, or gave you all your money up front. Okay, there's no more money. Etta James ain't want to hear that, so she pulled out a pistol and put it to Margot's head and said, you better give me my money, okay? The other dudes, who was, the other associates was like, don't give her no money. Margot got the gun to his head, so he like, here go the money, girl. The thing about Sam, because he was so cool, calm, and collected, he tried to explain to Etta really and truly what the labels were like, okay? And I feel that if all people who are part of the business or the music business who deal with labels, if they was just to remember this one part, it would save them a lot of heartache and pain. Sam would tell me how record labels were banks there to loan you money to make music. And as long as you think of it like that, you won't feel played, okay? Because if they give you everything up front, if you consider it a loan and how you pay it back is with, performing, then you don't feel slighted. Now, I ain't saying that some of them niggas ain't take advantage of situations. That's not what I'm going to say, okay? But as long as you keep that in mind and you can keep some of that pressure and worry off your back as to if the labels are getting over on me. He, meaning Sammie Cookie, was the original lover boy. Every woman, me included, had the hots for Sammie Cookie. He didn't go hitting on girls. He didn't have to. They swamped him. His personality was masculine, but his ways were feminine, soft, and sensitive. Apollo Faye, who was the concierge of men and the classiest of all the groupies, the one who wound up as Jimi Hendrix's old lady. I'll tell you more about Faye later. Okay, we ready. Said, child, these legs of mine have been around so many backs, but when I say they've been wrapped around the back of Sam Cooke, well, that's something I want the world to know. Sam and I were just buddies. We stayed cool. Okay, that's good. One, you might have been too old for his ass. Okay, now remember, Sammy Cookie and Aretha Franklin was in that hotel room. Okay, with the staple singers. Okay, on the outside giggling. Hey, is that Aretha in there with the Sammy Cookie? While her pappy, CL Smooth Franklin, okay, is looking for Aretha Franklin. CL Smooth Franklin, you know goddamn well your daughter was in the room with that damn Sammy Cookie. Yeah, she remembers one night where they were performing in a California club in LA, okay? It was Mamba night, all right? She's there, right? She sees Sammy Cookie about to head out the back door. Where you going, Sammy Cookie? Where you going? I want to, get some of your attention. I don't blame you, but like I said, us Libras, we get ourselves in trouble from flirting. I can't lie. We stay in trouble for flirting. We will not hunt you, but child, we will tease the fuck out of you. And you thinking you about to get some pastanka, child, and all you doing is watching the back of our head get small. Oh my God, Libras. When she watched Sammy Cookie go out the back door, okay, she followed him out the back door, but not all the way. But she watched him hang out with the bums in the alley, okay? Hey, man, can I get a drink of that? Sure, Sammy Cookie, sure. Not a problem, brother. You always welcome back here. Sammy Cookie took the bottle from the wino that the wino had put to his mouth. Thank you, the Jesus, the Corona, and all the other stuff, and monococcola. Now he could have got monococcola. But Sammy Cookie was so much of a gentleman that not only did he take a swig from his bottle, but he also paid him $5 for the drink. Etta James said that the strange thing about Jesse Belvin and Sam Cooke, I dreamt of being their lovers, but settled to love them as brothers and felt honored to be their sister. I get it. You got some men who you just want to stand next to. Some people, in general, people who you admire, you just want to stand next to them so that you can absorb their energy, their power, their, intellect. I get it, and if you so happen to, fall down in the bed with them, that's just what happens sometimes. It's not easy to sort out the early rage, the places it took me, the people who were friends, freaks, foes. You could say I was crazy. I sure as hell wasn't normal. But as I look back and follow my path from scene to scene, running around the country looking to get over, building up some kind of name for myself, seeing everything there was to see, trying everything there was to try, I get dizzy. It all happened so fast. At age 18, I got rid of Dorothy, at least for a while. In California, 18 means you're no longer a minor, and I no longer needed a chaperone. I went out with Abby, one of the old peaches, as my road companion, and was excited about my new freedom. But gigs were scarce. Texas was the only bright spot. We were staying at John Lewis's house in Dallas while he booked us around the state. After a month or two, though, the work dried up. Meanwhile, Jackie Wilson was playing St. Louis. He was enjoying his first big hits with songs written by Billy Davis and Berry Gordy before he started Motown. Reet, Petite, and To Be Loved, and Lonely Teardrops. The night before I was supposed to leave for Missouri, I got drunk. John Lewis threw a bucket of ice water over my head to wake me up. He dragged me and Abby over to the Greyhound station, put us on the bus, and waved goodbye. We snoozed all the way to St. Louis. I made the show and opened for Jackie to a packed house. The audience dug me, but when I went to get my money, the promoter shrugged his shoulders and said the gate was so disappointed. He couldn't pay. I was fit to be tied. My plan was to take the money and buy me and AB a bus ticket for Chicago, where after all the talk from Bobby Lester of the Moonglows, I wanted to meet the Chess Brothers and get me a new record deal. I wanted to wring the promoter's neck, but the more I shouted, the more he shrugged. He wouldn't give me a dime. By the time we got through arguing, Jackie had come off stage and paid me himself. On another occasion, when Murray Decay was about to kick me off the bill at the Brooklyn Paramount for talking back to him, Jackie stepped in, called his valet, Frazier, who came from the Midnighters, and said, "Pack my bag. I'm leaving with Etta." Murray Decay shut up real quick, so God bless Jackie Wilson. He got me to Chicago, okay? I'm not going to make fun of that because, you know, I grew up with a dude who left the streets and became a promoter, okay? Yeah, they got his ass. Now, I don't know exactly what happened, but they got his ass. Rest in peace to you. There was a show, and then his body, you know, ended up somewhere, you know. But I know that is a janky business. The promotion business, oh my God, one time I was hanging out with my Judy, right? And the dude she was messing with was a promoter of this particular show. Oh my God. Okay. The show was not packed. Okay. It was like middle, something like that. It was middle. All right. It wasn't packed enough for the person to get a return. Let me say that. All right. Child, oh my God, the promoter coming up with all these things in his head, like, well, he didn't do this, the act didn't do that, he didn't promote it, you know, but he only put on his page one thing, he's not, so, no, I'm not going to pay him because he didn't do what he was supposed to do. Maybe you should have told him that before he went up on stage and sang, okay? But them janky promoters be like, if I ain't get my money, you don't get your money. Chicago had the Hawk. Do y'all know what the Hawk is? If you know what the Hawk is, put it down below. I know what the Hawk is. Black blues bars owned by Jewish brothers from Poland named Phil and Leonard Chess, who talked with thick old world accents. Phil was the baby brother. Leonard was the boss. Leonard changed my life. Getting to Leonard, though, wasn't easy. When AB and I arrived in Chicago, we were dead broke. We were staying at the Parisian Hotel. Okay, let me tell you something, what these girls were doing. I'm glad I don't know shit about this life. You know, when I look back at, you know, people like Etta James and, you know, situations like that, I'll be like, Joe, I done had some bad times, but thank you to Jesus, okay? I didn't have times like this. So AB and Etta are staying at this hotel, right? They so broke that they working up a bill. The girls are even scared to leave the room because if they leave the room, then, you know, the hotel owners or, you know, the management team, they gonna come in and lock them out, okay? And keep all that shiz until they make the hotel whole, okay? So these girls weren't even leaving, right? But they had blessings along the way, okay? Normally, because they can't leave out, the girls would just order, you know, chicken and wings and dogs or wherever it is and order it up to the room, okay? But this particular day, they didn't have no money, okay? At all. Nothing, right? So their stomachs is eating up their backs. This night, they had a knock at the door, okay? And when they opened the door, it was a bag of chicken on the floor. Now, I'm saying to myself, I don't know if I want to eat a bag of chicken that just randomly, you know, show up at the door. But when your stomach is eating your back, maybe you don't have a choice, okay? Like them people over there on Naked and Afraid. Another godsend came along in the form of an Air Force lieutenant named Greg Harris, who happened to be staying at our hotel. I'd have to call him a music groupie. He was one of those crazy fans whose main man was a pianist, Ahmed Jamal. Chess, most popular jazz artist. Greg was a career soldier. He had lots of money and a bougie wife, snobby as she could be, and a love of good music. He also knew my songs and dug my singing. Hanging at the hotel bar, he and I would start talking, and I told him my story. Let him know that I was stuck in Chicago with no work or bread. Not to worry, he said. Let me manage you. Let me cut a deal with Leonard Chess. Fine, I said, but I still got this hotel bill to pay, okay? Etta James is astonished because this black Negro pulled out an American Express. She said it was the first time she ever seen an American Express in her life. Okay, she was flabbergasted. Oh shit, you mean to tell me all we got to do is pull out this credit card and you pay it to the man and we good? Answer yes, but remember that nigga gonna have to pay it back. Greg also made good on his promise to crack a deal with Chess. First, he got me released from Modern, which claimed I'd owe them money. How the hell can she owe you money? He asked the Baharis when you never paid her a cent of royalties. How the hell that happened, Clarence Charlie? Happens all the time. It's called the goop, okay? I wound up with $500, which was fine to me because the Baharis like, well, she owe us $7,000. Well, hell, you owe her $6,500. Let's just call it in. Greg wasn't looking for us for profit or sex. Cat just wanted to help. Leonard, you see, was on a girl hunt. Okay, he had lots of male artists like Bo Dirt Dick Diddley, the damn porn director, okay, Chuck Berry, Little Walter, but was weak with women. So he started signing girls like Jackie Ross and Mitty Collier. Minnie Riperton was working as a receptionist. Later, she joined the gyms before becoming famous on her own. I was part of Leonard's campaign to find a female singer. He put me on staff as a writer and a singer and paid my room and board. Already, that was more than Modern Records had ever done for her, okay? Other artists will tell you plenty of Leonard Chess stories. Far as I'm concerned, though, he wasn't all bad. As time went on, as I went off the deep end, he proved his loyalty. I liked him. I didn't like singing for Chuck Berry. Chuck was a wise guy and a cynic. He was also smart, saying things I remember like show business is too much monkey business. Unlike most of us, he was aiming straight at white teenagers. Okay, that's that crossover appeal. Unfortunately, I hate the fact that R&B music is like gone now. Okay, you still have some artists that, do sing R&B, but they're not making it like how the pop artists are. Chuck Berry knew how to make a deal. I liked how he took care of business. He was a personable guy who wasn't to himself. When he showed up at a session, he had a presence. Authority. He was another one who talked about getting front money, like Sammie Cookie. Chuck kept telling me how record companies are like banks. They're loaning you money to make a record. You pay back that money with sales, but once the loan's repaid, Chuck would say, make sure you get your royalties. When it came to background singers and musicians, though, Chuck Berry was a skinflint. What the fuck is a skinflint? Please put that below, y'all, because I don't know what that is. What a skinflint? I know because I sang on Back in the USA and Almost Grown. The pay was pathetic, but the fact that Chuck never fed us a real lunch during a long day of singing, that's what sticks in my mind, okay? Chuck Berry, you ninja you. Chuck Berry, girl, okay? Ain't you trying to make it just like everybody else? I can't believe this. Anyway, professionally, Harvey and I, so moving back to Harvey Fuqua, okay? Hold tight. Professionally, Harvey and I got close. So moving back to Harvey Fuqua, okay? Hold tight. Now, if you have not already done so, please remember to like, share to Facebook, and subscribe because it is so important to our success here on the YouTube. And if you are not already a part of our book club, please remember to hit the Patreon link below and or the join button here on the YouTube, and for a small monthly fee of $5. You babies, yes you, can be privy to all the shenanigans before the YouTube gets it, if the YouTube gets it. Now, remember this. The same people that you meet on the way up will always be the same people that you meet on the way down. My naysayers, my patron loves. You babies, have a good one. Peace.